All right, here we are. Chapter 3, Chapter 2, Clown Spiring. At Marx's house, the duo concoct an evil plan of sorts. Dark Infinity complains. And Decca says, in my humble opinion, the description of Marx's house is our magnum opus. Also, I wish I could handwrite in Comic Sans. Finnet withheld a sigh of relief when they finally reached Marx's house, the awkward silence having pressed down on him pretty hard. It was a simple little house decorated with a faux caution tape and a sign hanging on the door that read, "Beware of Clown," in rainbow marker. Like always, Dark Infinity felt the need to complain.
Ew, I can tell this guy's gonna be a real piece of work. Beware of Clown in Rainbow Comic Sans. Seriously?
Finnet blinked. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's just how his handwriting looks. Marx walked up beside Finnet, wearing an incredibly smug and confident smirk. What's the matter, humbled by my incredible digs? His cocky tone suddenly went flat. Well, don't touch that. Last time someone touched the sign, the marker smeared, and I had to put a sticky note over it because it looked like it said, "Beware or Clown." Wait, what did you say? I zoned out. Finnet said jumbledly, jumbly, whatever, as he realized Marx was talking to him. Never mind, just get in. Marx kicked the door open, and Finnet flinched as he heard the sound of a violent slam accompanied by shattering glass. I meant to do that. Glancing around, Finnet could tell Marx's essential furniture was packed into this one room. It was a pretty small house, after all. The walls were lined with shelves packed with all manner of clown-related memorabilia, and sitting at the back of the room was a closet, door ajar, overflowing with beach balls that seemed about to tumble into the room at any moment. On the right side of the room, a rectangular mirror rested sloppily against the wall, with reminder, "Dab on the haters, Marx," scribbled near the top in colorful but poorly written crayon lettering. Both corners of the mirror were being used as a place for Marx to hang a myriad of mostly identical or near identical jester hats, though it was easy to tell he was trying to hang far too many in the same spot, as it seemed there were more that had fallen on the floor than had stayed in place. Then, glancing to his left, Finnet noticed a desk and a laptop still wide open and running. He caught a short glance of the current page. It looked to be a chat client. Oh boy. He managed to read the words, "Sexy arm haver, 666. Babe, I'm so glad we definitely have arms and I'm not some freaky little clown orb clown," before Marx dashed over and frantically shut the laptop with his foot. Hey, don't look at that," Marx shouted intensely before breathing a deep breath and trying to immediately move on from that, presumably before Finite could ask any questions. "Anyways, how do you like my place? It's pretty epic if I do say so myself." He spoke with maybe exaggerated pride, but took a quick turn for the harsh. "Don't make yourself at home, because this is my house, and you are not staying here." Finnet grasped to find something to say. It's certainly unique. I mean, I like the clowns. "It sucks." "It sucks," added Dark Infinity, though well aware that only Finnet could hear him. Unfortunately, his comment prompted the same thought from Finnet himself, and before Finnet could think much about it, he felt the familiar twinge of Dark Infinity's powers taking influence. "It sucks." Finnet echoed quietly and impulsively. Please tell me he didn't hear that. Please tell me you didn't hear that. Please tell me he didn't. "Wow, you suck," snapped Marx in reply, having definitely heard it. "Give me one good reason not to kick you out right now." I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I said it without thinking. Your house is really cool, Marx," yelped Finnet in panic. "Thanks a lot, Dark Infinity." Dark Infinity chuckled, clearly having too much fun with this. "Hey, it was your opinion, not mine." "Well, okay, I guess it was also my opinion, but you know what I mean." Marx gave Finnet a deadpan look of disbelief, but didn't say anything. Instead, he paid more attention to Shimmer Something, who had made a pile of Marx's hat into an impromptu cat bed. "Shimmer Something, get out of my hats." "No," he replied with a yawn, not even passing Marx a glance. "I'm making a wish for you to get out of my hats." "How many cat treats you got?" Finnet decided he'd rather interrupt before things escalated. I think I should, make Shimmer something into, Garfield or something. I don't know. I'll think about it. He really wasn't sure how to handle his old college buddy trying to argue with his cat. Shimmer something. Marx is already angry enough as is. Could you please relocate? After a few unexpectedly uncomfortable moments of silence, Shimmer something sighed. Fine. 3, 2, 1, go. After his countdown, Marx's hats vanished for a brief instant, only to appear a couple feet away from him. Just know that I only granted that to flex on Marx. Meow. Did Shimmer something add in a countdown this time just to be flashier about it? Finnet thought to himself, well, I guess it worked. He cast a glance over to Marx, who was staring wide-eyed. You got to be kidding. That thing doesn't actually work, does it? Marx stammered, looking frantically between Finnet and Shimmer something. You don't really have... I already told you he's a real Clockwork Star. He's just smaller than most, but he's still very much a Clockwork Star. Finnet tried to explain for maybe the third or fourth time. But he's also my cat, and I treasure him. I don't I was about to do British for that, for sure, or something. No. I don't... I'm trying to do it again. Ah! Oh my god, I hope I don't make him British. I don't appreciate being condescended to, you know, Shimmer something added, though it was unclear whom this statement was directed towards. Marx took a while to respond, just standing there and blinking. Then he pulled Finnet close and muttered, "Oh, okay, he seems to listen to you. I need you to wish for something good." Isn't infinite power a good wish? Asked Finnet, tilting his head. I thought that would be like the best possible wish. I mean, it's like all of the wishes in one, right? No, you don't get it. I need to make sure this is totally 100% real. Anyone can teleport stuff if they try hard enough, Marx hissed intensely, voice more serious than Finnet ever heard Marx in his life. Really? Whoa. Finnet found himself instead distracted and overly excited over the idea that anyone can teleport stuff if they try. So, if I just tried hard enough, then I could... Reminder that you wished for infinite power, Dark Infinity grumbled. Finnet, you're getting sidetracked here. Marx deadpanned before resuming his previous intensity. What I need you to do first... Go up to the Clockwork Star, and then ask him to grant me arms. He leaned in closer, his eyes narrowed. Sexy ones. Finnet hesitated. I don't know. I said I'd only have him grant one wish. He granted an extra wish when you told him to get out of the hats, Marx pointed out. It should be fine. Now, would you just hurry up and do it? Okay. Finnet hastily replied. So this is the guy you tried to call like a zillion billion times for the last 5 years? Commented Dark Infinity, unwelcome as ever. Finnet glanced away from Marx awkwardly, not really wanting to continue to make eye contact while talking with his freaky evil brain ghost. Yes, he's my friend. Wow. And I thought you couldn't get any... I thought you couldn't be any more of a pushover. Well, hey, I'm not a pushover. I mean, I'm evil now and stuff. Finnet, you're just like standing there. Are you gonna make my wish or what? Marx said, suddenly interrupting Finnet's thought process. Sorry, I just spaced out again, that's all. Finnet squeaked, hurriedly stepping over to Shimmer Something, where Shimmer Something was laying on the floor, before Marx had the chance to reply. Okay. I'm really sorry to ask you this, but I know I said I hopefully would only need you to grant one wish, but Marx wants you to prove you can grant wishes by giving him arms. He paused a moment. He specified for them to be sexy, but I don't know what that entails for him. I didn't tell you to say all that, shouted Marx from across the room. Or maybe I should... One second. I gotta go over here. I didn't tell you to say all that! Shouted Marx from across the room. Oops. Shimmer something yawned and rolled upright. Wasn't teleporting his stuff enough proof? Meow. Whatever. Whatever. 3, 2, 1, go. With a shimmer of colorful magic, 2 slinkies and 2 silly floating boxing gloves attached to the end appeared, affixed to Marx's sides. Oh my goodness, they're incredible! Gasped Finnet in awe. Marx gazed at them in shock before attempting to flex. It didn't really work out at all because it was a slinky, but he was impressed all the same. What the hell? They're amazing, actually. Shimmer's something's eye visibly twitched. Those weren't supposed to be good. Meow. Those weren't supposed to be good. Meow. There we go. That's good. What are you talking about? They're super cool. Finnet said, glancing at his own floating paws. Oh man, now I kind of wish I had slinky arms. Ugh. 3, 2, 1, go. Shimmer something groaned, and with similar magical glow, Slinky suddenly attached Finite's paws to his body. Finite took a second to process the change that even happened. Huh? Wait, Shimmer something, I wasn't making you grant that. He sighed apologetically and racked his brain to figure out how to make up for it. Do you want arms? Not like those, muttered Shimmer something, though I'm physically incapable of granting my own wishes, so I couldn't anyway. How did a voice so monotone sound so bitter? Well, then I wish for you to have whatever sort of limbs you want. Shimmer something blinked. Meow. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Then in a third and much flashier jolt of light, a single pair of cat legs appeared on Shimmer something, as well as cat ears and a tail. Immediately he got to sitting down with his new legs. There we go, declared Finnet proudly. So, Marx, do you believe us now? Marx, however, wasn't paying even the slightest bit of attention. Instead, he was repeatedly rearranging the numerous items on his shelves with his newfound hands. Ooh. He giggled maniacally. I can reach my shelves. I haven't arranged these since I put them up there. Up here. Finnet was about to ask Marx if he heard him, but he found a much different question, much, much more pressing. How did you get them up there on the shelves in the first place? Marx briefly turned to him with a grim expression. You don't want to know. Just as quickly, he returned to his joyous frenzy. No more kicking open my door and breaking stuff. No more having to wait for the operator to buckle me in on roller coasters. No more catfishing people about having cool, sexy arms. It ain't catfishing if I have arms. Now is it? Finnet tried and failed to completely process everything Marx had just said, one sentence at a time. Wait, you said you broke the thing earlier on purpose. Roller coasters? Catfishing? Huh? Marx cleared his throat in a very interrupty manner. Ignore that. Life is hard when you're a stubby little clown ball with no hands, no arms, no legs. Just feet. I'm my freaky wings, but with a fade-in of a strange multicolored thorn effect, odd and clawed, golden-colored wings appeared on Marx's side above his new arms. Below the framework of his wings, shapes in different colors sparkled in and out of sight. Well, they're not arms. I do not remember you having those, mumbled Finnet in slight alarm. What even happened while I was gone? Where did Marx get weird, magic, rainbow, golden claw wings? Do those even count as wings? They don't look like wings that much. Possibly out of annoyance towards Finnet's rambling and baffled train of thought, Dark Infinity decided to break his own silence to complain. God, this guy is such a baby. I don't even have feet, and you don't see me whining about it. Dark Infinity, I am trying to parse a lot right now, and I really don't need you adding anything, protested Finite, though knowing it was in vain. Also, you do whine about that. Do not. Do too. Do not. Dark Infinity, I'm not having this conversation with you again for the millionth, billionth, jillionth time. While Finnet had his little argument with Dark Infinity, and likely just appeared to the world like he was spacing out in shock, Marks vanished away his wings with the same strange and unnatural looking cutout effect they materialized with. I have those wings because I'm cool and scary and have epic powers, Marks confidently explained. Whoa. Finnet was jolted back to reality and thankfully was able to focus on how impressed he was by Marks's weird wings. I guess we really do both have neat abilities. Not that I was really expecting this, but it's super exciting. You were doubting me. Marks then immediately changed topics. Anyway, you want to hear my idea or what? Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that. Whatever. All right. So, you see Shimmer something over there. Is that really just his name now? Yeah? Well, you wanna be evil, right? Well, we can use him to take over the planet. Marks slid closer to Finnet, though misjudged the sliding distance slightly, due to being unused to his new arms, resulting in slightly punching Finnet in the side. He paid it no heed and continued, his voice taking on an ominous tone. Do not directly wish to take over. Trust me, won't end well. Finnet blinked, feeling a bead of anxiety well up, though he was mostly just confused. What do you mean? I don't know if you've noticed. Marks glanced back at Shimmer Something, who was currently just lounging around and grooming himself, but clockwork stars are kinda a big deal. We just have to roll up to some hapless town, tell them we got a clockwork star, and if they don't comply, they'll regret it. Easy peasy. Finnet found himself hesitating. I'm not sure I really want to go out and threaten a bunch of people. It's not like I'd actually be willing to do anything to them if they didn't go along with it either, and I feel I'd be kind of exploiting Shimmer Something a little bit, which wouldn't be fair to him. I don't know. Doesn't that sound a bit mean? Aren't you trying to be evil? Deadpan Marks. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right, that's part of the description, huh? Marks silently stared at Finite and Marks silently glared at Finnet in disappointment. Finnet decided to break the silence himself. Still, it feels weird to make Shimmer Something do this for us, you know? I mean, I don't think I could take over with my infinite power on its own, but that doesn't mean we make him do it. I'm sorry. Could you go back and think about what you just said for a moment? Finnet paused for a bit. Yeah? What about it? I want you to think long and hard about how stupid that previous sentence was. After a brief contemplation, Finnet shrugged. I don't get it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm with the horrible idiot clown on this one. Dark Infinity added. He was promptly ignored. Marks twitched, balling his new hands into fists, giving a look of pure disbelief. If you have infinite power, that means you have the power to do anything, because it's... never mind. Oh, I see what you're getting at. I know that, but it could be one of those situations where if you're not specific enough about exactly what you want, it could end up messing a lot up, you know? Finnet explained easily, like a genie in one of those TV shows where the moral it's like, careful what you wish for. But I guess this wouldn't be a wish because it's just my powers, but I got them from a wish, so maybe they work like that anyways. I am getting secondhand embarrassment from just hearing your thoughts, Dark Infinity complained. Like, you should be thankful this weird little jester man you call a friend can't hear you, because I'd think he'd maul you for being this much of a stupid dum-dum. Dude, you're literally not adding anything to the conversation. I mean, I know Marks can't hear you, but at least you could say something insightful. My insults are very insightful. Insightful. Marks had needed a minute to actually take in Finnet's very reasonable and logical explanation for why he couldn't use his limitless power to take over the world. He then let out a loud and miserable groan. You know what? Fine, whatever you say. Seemingly shaking off his frustration, he then grabbed a pen and paper. Let's get to planning, shall we? His annoyance faded a bit as he clicked the pen a couple of times with his new hand, giggling ecstatically. Ecstatically. Yeah, it is ecstatically. Okay, agreed Finite. Thankful for the... Finite. God fucking damn it. Finite. Thankful for the topic change. He sat down by the paper and reached into the magical hammer space within his cape, pulling out a pen. It was one of those fun novelty pens that was flamingo-shaped. Marks rattled off idea after idea, though immediately wrote them down without any second opinion. Finite wasn't sure he could have provided much input anyways, as Dark Infinity had chosen now of all times to break his focus completely. So, as I was saying, you're really friends with this loser, huh? Not surprised, honestly. Dark Infinity began unprompted and, quite frankly, unwanted. Could you please stop insulting people you barely know? Okay, stupid face. That's not what I meant, and my face isn't stupid. Whatever. Anyway, how'd you even talk to this guy for more than 2 seconds? Genuine question here. He seems completely insufferable in every way. Finite glanced over towards Mark, still scribbling plans with untamed fury, seeking something more interesting to pay attention to so he could ignore Dark Infinity. Glancing over the paper, he saw Mark's in the middle of writing. Step 48. Finite probably won't read this far, Lamau XD. That distraction backfired. Finite very deliberately looked away and instead tried to answer the question. Well, like I said, we were pals in college. Okay, we also knew each other in elementary, but maybe that doesn't really count. After elementary, I didn't see him again until we both ended up at the same college. What, did you room with him or something? Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually. Oh, so that's why you're completely loopy. What? No, also I'm not loopy. If anything, you are, because your weird squiggle aesthetic is kind of like loops. That's so inane, I don't know how to reply to it. Well, that's fine. I would much prefer if you stopped talking. Someone's gotten awful cocky. Finite would have shot a glare at Dark Infinity if said freaky evil brain ghost was anywhere in the physical space instead of currently an intangible presence in Finite's head. I mean, I have infinite power now. I could do basically whatever I want. Yeah. Infinite power, schmeinite, schmower. Pretend you didn't hear that. Point is, do you really think that so-called infinite power is gonna do you any good? I bet $20 it isn't even infinite. Huh? But you saw what I did earlier with the strobe lights and everything. Shimmer something granted these powers, and he's a clockwork star! And all. Dark Infinity was quiet for a few moments before bursting into a laugh that was probably meant to sound evil, but was more annoying than anything. You call that nearly burning out your own eyes impressive? I could do that if I tried hard enough. Honestly, that clockwork star of yours probably couldn't even grant a wish of that caliber. He's a defective clockwork star for, a stupid idiot. Yeah! A defective clockwork star for a stupid idiot. Well, hey, stop being so mean to Shimmer or something. He didn't even do anything to you. Finite crossed his arms upset. Well, maybe you should learn to stop talking for once because you're stupid and dumb. Finite's ears drooped, unable to counter. But Suddenly, Finite realized Marks was waving a hand in his face, snapping him back to reality. Marks looked pissed off somewhat, but mostly just kinda puzzled. Hey, you've been staring off into space and idly gesturing at me like a freak for probably the past 5 minutes. Even as he spoke, he continued to write down ideas, barely even looking at the paper. What? Finite hopped to his feet, startled. He abruptly realized that he, 1, was crossing his arms, 2, his arms were currently slinkies, and 2, his arms were currently slinkies. The weird slinky arms were now completely entangled, and his attempt to regain his bearings and untangle his arms, he tripped and fell on his face. I'm okay, he mumbled dizzily. R.I.P. called Shimmer something. Fucking RIP! Okay, RIP, called Shimmer something. pronouncing it as rip, from across the room, sounding completely uninterested. Marks paid no heed to Finnett's stumble or Shimmer something remark, instead holding up the paper in Finnett's face. Oh my god, I keep fucking up his name. I finished writing the plan myself while you were zoning out, he said somewhat sourly. Finnett stumbled back up, finally yanking his tangled, slinky arms separate, and deeply thankful that the motion of doing so didn't hurt, because if it did, that would have been a very stupid decision. With that out of the way, he looked down at the paper. Oh, he could barely read Marx's handwriting to begin with, as it seemed sloppy even compared to his usual. Actually, since he didn't have arms until now, was it mouth writing before? I mean, I know that's how he did it and all, but I'm just realizing that handwriting would be a misnomer here. I'm getting distracted, but even with the handwriting, the plan was near indecipherable. The first few steps made relative sense, involving Marx and involving the idea Marx had described before, showing up in a town with Shimmer something and demanding control, but it soon spiraled into increasingly confusing nonsense, stuff about an evil lair or circus tent waging war on the basic concept of wizardry, under the idea that they were primal opposite of clowns, which Finnett simply did not agree with, an abrupt tangent about going down to the nearest sandwich shop and asking for one of every topping, but with no bread, a short story about goldfish or whatever, and then pretty much just literal gibberish. Finnett wasn't sure what he expected. Marx, I can't understand most of this, he said as he feebly handed the paper back over. Look, that's not the point. Taking the paper, Marx crumpled it up and stuffed it under his hat. You just need to follow along with whatever I tell you to do. Got it? That sounds kind of bad. Finna didn't argue at all. Okay. He pushed down his complete confusion and dusted off his cape, following Marx out the door and on towards their very poorly thought out plan. That's chapter 3. There we are.